Hey everybody, it's Brad from Ellicott City Sovac, and today I'm so excited because the new simulator for the B990 has finally been released. This is the first day this has been available, and so if you didn't know, on all of the modern Bernina machines, you can actually download from the Bernina website a simulator that lets you go and do all of the buttons and see how the machine works. So you can kind of try it before you buy it, or you can also not have to bring your big heavy machine into a class that's just showing you how the computer parts of it work. And that is going to be really fantastic for people that own the B990 because the machine is so big and heavy, it's going to be hard to bring it in. And if you're just learning how, the interface on it works, you can learn all of that from this simulator. You don't actually have to drag the machine in. So I'm going to tell people when they come in for group classes on this machine, they're going to be able to bring their computer and use the simulator if they want, if they don't want to have to drag the whole machine in. But this is also perfect for if you're on the fence about, do I want this machine? You can actually experience what it's like to use the 990. Now, you can't sew anything out, but it's really fun to be able to go and jumbo some stitches and do all the fun things. So in this video, I'm going to kind of give you a walkthrough of how this simulator works, and also I'm going to show you how to get to and download this and put it on your own computer so you can play with it for yourself. But let's take a look at some of the functions on this thing. Now, as you can see, I have this running on my touchscreen tablet right now, but you can use this with a mouse and keyboard on a normal computer, just the same way that I am. I think it's fun to do this with a touchscreen device though, because the screen is going to behave exactly the same way that it does on the actual machine. So for instance, if I want to go and bring in an embroidery design, which by the way, this is what it comes up to when you first turn it on. It comes up in embroidery mode, but if I want to bring up an embroidery design, I can go and look in my embroidery designs folder, and I can go and look through all of the designs that are built in here. So let's say I want to maybe look at some of these lace designs and choose a design here. This is going to behave just the same way that the tablet on the machine does, with a 2-finger to zoom in and out, pinch. I can pinch to zoom all the way into where I see the individual stitches, and then I can 2-finger drag to pan around. So you kind of get a feel for, and this responds exactly just as nice as it does on the 990 itself. So I can go and do all the new touch gestures, like have the long press to go and pull and drag the pieces out of my sequence. I can go in, and let's say I want to go in and bring in a design here. Maybe I want to be able to see that long press menu. I can just press and hold, and there that menu comes up. That comes up just like it does on the machine. So I can go in here and say, oh, maybe I want to mirror it left and right, or delete this out, or lock this section. I can do all of those things built right on here. Super, super fun. You can even experiment with seeing what it would be like to scan the hoop in. Now, you do have to go in and set the machine up just like you would to scan a hoop. Like I'd have to tell it that I'm using the 26 foot, and I would have to tell it up here. This is so that it is as if I physically put on a hoop. So I'm going to say I'm going to put on the oval hoop here, and then the presser foot. If you've got the presser foot thinks that it's a 9mm foot, it's not going to work. So you tell it that you've got a 5.5mm foot. When you go in here into the view menu, you can hit this button, tell it, okay, for the hoop, we want to scan the image and scan the hoop. And so if you're following along a tutorial, you can actually go through and do this, even scanning an image. Now, obviously, it's going to be a made-up image. We don't actually have fabric in here, but it brings in some pretend fabric for you to see what it would look like if you had this fabric with the polka dots in there, so you can go and bring a design in. This is so cool. I love that they do this, so you can actually see what it would be like to place a design on some actual fabric that you scanned in, and all of the things that you can do on the machine, like touching the corner to drag and resize, touching the ball to rotate it. It all works exactly like it does on the machine. So I just love that they made it touch enabled like this, and that we're able to actually use a touchscreen device here to go in and do these things. So let's say that we want to switch out and go into the sewing mode. In the top right corner, we can hit this, And we can say, oh yeah, no, we want to go to sewing. It's going to say, okay, you got to remove the embroidery hoop, right? So remember, I told it up here that it has a hoop on it. So the simulator actually thinks that I literally have the oval hoop installed on it. So I can go up and say, yeah, we actually have no hoop on here, and we can hit the check mark and it's happy, and there we go. Now remember, look, we told it it's got the 26 foot on there, so that's still in. We can say, all right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to put the 20C foot on, right? And then it knows, all right, I've got the 20C foot on. Okay, now it also, remember, it has up here, it's sensing that the foot that's on it is actually only a 5.5 millimeter foot. So that also we have to tell it, no, this is a 9 millimeter foot up here. These are all things that on an actual machine, the machine can tell what size foot you have on it. So, you know, it knows if it's a 5.5 or a 9 millimeter. So this is like kind of things that you would be in real life changing physically on the machine. But now that we've done that, check this out. We can go and set our stitch length and width. And look, we've got knobs where we could actually go and adjust the width just like you would on the machine, and adjust the length, and it shows you what your changes are. It shows you changing the tension automatically as you go. And then if we go in and we look at some decorative stitches here, we could actually go in and say, all right, let's experiment with jumbo stitches now. I can grab a stitch, and then I can go to the edit menu and go to the jumbo, and here, just like on the real machine, I can blow this up and I can watch as my changes happen as it automatically adjusts the stitch. And now I can even sew with this. If I go and I hit the start button here, it's going to start sewing, or I could even simulate pressing the foot control. And when I do that, it's actually going to start animating as it goes and does the stitches. And here it's showing me where it's actually stitching, right? Which this over here, I can actually change this window to a front view so I can see what the needle would be doing from the front as it goes and sews out this stitch. Super, super neat to be able to play with this. And this is also going to show me what's going to happen. Like if I hit, so now I've stopped hitting my foot control. It stops with the needle up, and it's doing that because right here, this is set for needle up, right? Now, if I hit the scissor key, watch this. It actually shows it going and it trimming the thread and raising the presser foot, because that's what would happen on the machine if I was actually doing this. So this is so much fun to play with. So you could actually go and download the workbook for the machine and follow along. And let's see, oh, they don't have the workbook, I don't think, posted publicly yet. But you know what I'll do is I'll put a link to it in the description of this video if you want to just so look in the above the comments section in the video description. I'll have a link to the sewing and the embroidery workbook, and you can work through them on your own, even if you don't have a machine, with this simulator. So like this, and it's got the full everything in the machine is in here, even the help center. So if I go in to the help center here, I can go in and look through the entire manual in the help center. All of the quick start guides with all the videos are all in here. So if I go in here and I want to watch the threading video, I can go and do that. I can hit play, and just like on the machine, it goes and shows me the entire threading video. And they've got all kinds of videos built into this thing to show you different ways of learning how to operate the machine. And it's everything from the machine. I just love that they do this. I wish that all companies would do this, because this is so great. Being able to have the whole machine here. This is going to be really helpful for teaching. Being able to have this full screen, like real big on our TV when we're teaching classes, it's going to be awesome. So I'm really glad that this is here. But anyway, so if you want to go in and play with this help center, you've got pages and pages and pages of the instruction manual, a quick start guide. The consultant in here will teach you how to set your machine up for different kinds of quilting and sewing. I can go in and watch all of read through all the tutorials. Like let's say I don't know how to do a blind hem. Well, you can go in here and you can read the tutorial of every step that you would use on this machine to go and sew a blind hem. And even if it changes based on what type of fabric you're using, maybe we're going to do it on a heavy pile fabric. So what's going to be different? Well, it's going to show me in my preparation step, the stitches will be different. And if I hit the check mark to apply the settings, then it's going to go in and apply the settings in here, and I'll know, you know, what the right settings are for that type of fabric. And it's just It's just neat. So let's talk about how you would go about going and installing this. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my computer and we'll go ahead and download this. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're just going to go to Bernina.com. So type in Bernina.com. Okay, so Bernina.com, go there. And then once this loads up, you're going to go to Machines and choose Bernina 990. Okay, from the Bernina 990 page, you just scroll down to this little menu bar here and choose Support. And then you're going to click on Support Page Bernina 990. Okay, so from here, right here where it says Simulator, you're going to click on this, Set up Bernina 990. Just left click on that, and it's going to download it. Now, I already downloaded it on mine, but when you click on this, it'll start downloading. And when it's finished, you're going to just click on the Bernina 990.zip. Okay, right? You just click on this in your downloads page, whichever, whatever browser you're using, you're going to have to, it's going to be different, but it's going to open the zipped folder, right? And then what you're going to do is if you're in Windows 10, there'll be a button here that says extract all files. If you're in Windows 11, like I am, you hit this little extra 3 dots here and choose extract all, right? And then when you hit extract all, you can just hit extract after that, leave everything on the default. And then what'll happen is this is going to actually open up. As soon as it's done extracting, it's going to go ahead and open up. It'll look just like this, and you'll have a red icon this time. That's how you know that it's the unzipped one. All you got to do is double click this. So you just double click this Setup Bernina 990, and then what you'll have is on your desktop, there will be a new icon right here, Bernina 990 Customer Simulator. So once it's done installing, just leave all the defaults selected, double click this new icon that shows up on your desktop, and that's where the simulator is going to be. So it boots up and it has all of your cool simulator stuff. So we can go in here and do all of the things that I was doing. I can go to the settings and I can mess with machine settings. I can personalize it just like you can on a real machine. Look, I can go in and change my background color and figure out exactly what colors I want. I can go in and play with, adjusting the sounds that the machine makes. So much stuff that you can get into and play with on here. So I hope that you guys enjoy playing with this simulator as much as I have been enjoying it. And I hope that it helps some of you guys out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.